lot of management waiting by to chat with us.
Right. So MTAR Technologies is the management. They reported a steady set of Q3 numbers. Revenues came in strong, but margins actually contracted marginally. To discuss this and more, we have Parvat Srinivas Reddy, Managing Director at MTAR Technologies. Mr. Reddy, thank you so much for joining us. You joined us at the end of Q2. Q2 was slightly challenging. Q3 appears to have been better. At the end of Q2, when you joined us, you told us that the FY25 revenue guidance would be 25% from the 30% you had envisaged earlier. You had the margin guidance at 21% from the 25% earlier. End of Q3, where do we stand and how do you expect to end FY25 at? Top line, margins as well as bottom line.
Yeah, we are still on track with that. We will be crossing 700 crores plus revenue by the end of Q4 and at a much higher margins of close to about 24% EBITDA levels to come at about 21% plus minus 100 basis points. So we are on track with that for this year. And for next year, we have a clear roadmap of a 30% revenue growth at about 24% EBITDA margin comfortable.
24% EBITDA margin. So correct me if I'm wrong, but weren't your EBITDA margins close to 20% in the quarter gone by? Are we looking at such a big jump in margins?
Yes, we have developed a lot of first articles. We have done a lot of work towards that. And we are back on track with our margins from Q4 onwards, where we'll touch about 24%, close to 24% EBITDA margin plus minus 50 basis points. So that's how we might end up with about 20% margins for the year. But moving forward, we'll go in the same momentum with about 24% EBITDA margin for the whole FY26 as well, with a 30% revenue growth.
So for FY25, where do you expect to end the top line at? I just missed that number. You're on track for 25%, is that right?
Yeah, the FY25 top line would be roughly around 700 crores plus. That's what it's going to be at the end of the day.
Understood. So slight moderation from 21% to 20%, and next year you're expecting to revert back to 24% as far as EBITDA margin is concerned. FY25, earlier you had indicated that the closing order book would be close to 1400 to 1500 crore. Your order book currently is slightly in excess of 1000 crore. So 400, 500 crore, where are you seeing the order visibility at as far as Q4 is concerned?
We're going to expect major orders from space and nuclear divisions and also from a lot of MNC customers. We're getting a lot of orders. You have seen that recently we have received orders close to even 400 crores plus. So we are expecting a lot of orders coming in, and hopefully all these orders will come before 31st March. So we'll end up with the number of 1400 crores by end of the year. That's what we're looking at.
The budget gave a thrust to the nuclear power segment. What is your contribution from the nuclear segment? In what way is the company now better placed than it was prior to the budget?
See, one is the announcement in the budget of the nuclear division. MTAR contributes a lot to the civil nuclear reactors in India, right, for the last 35 years. So definitely, as and when those tenders come in, MTAR would benefit a lot. We are expecting huge orders of nuclear coming in the form of the regular fleet reactors from Kaiga 5 and 6, and as well as the refurbishment of reactors. We're expecting 5 reactors to come in for refurbishment. So over the next 3 to 6 months, we're expecting close to about 1000 crores of orders coming in, apart from what government has announced for the 220 megawatts, what they're looking at.
Understood that, sir. So as far as exports are concerned, Bloom, a major client, how's the order visibility over there? Have they recovered? They were also in a bit of a lull last year, like you had mentioned. Have they recovered? How's the order pipeline in that particular segment?
They're absolutely right on top right now with a lot of new orders with the data centers and the kind of orders we have received recently and the kind of numbers we're looking at for the next year. It's right back on track.
Could you quantify, the prospect pipeline?
Yeah, see, for next year itself, we might even look at about almost like 485 to 500 crores of orders being executed just with Bloom, based on the kind of orders that we have received from Bloom Energy.
Thank you so much, sir, for joining us, giving us a sense of how the quarter panned by and the outlook as far as Q4 and FY26 is concerned.